This is the American Rebellion. My name's Jerry. How y'all doing? Sitting here eating candy corn. We've got Matt and Nick here. And I guess we'll get started. Let's see. We got, how you doing, Matt?
I'm better than the Amy Coney Barrett, probably. You know what? That Steve Scully fucker that was going to moderate the debate, the second debate.
Yeah.
I knew that motherfucker. His year older brother Sean was one of my homies. No, he's from fucking Erie. He's a fucking Scully. I remember him being like a little puss fucking boy.
Wasn't in on the...
Yeah, and I saw his bio. They had 16 fucking kids. I'm well, yeah, that's fucking the Scullys I know.
Well, we got Jimmy Collins, Eric Driver, Larry Burns from Canada. Franklin, how you doing? Nick, how are you? You know anybody famous in politics?
Yeah. The same as his other family, the Morrises. They had like 9, and the fucking homely gene fed down to each one of them kids. It was awful.
Thanks, Nick.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, well.
That was Matt.
I know. That was kind of the point of saying thanks, Nick.
So apparently somebody's got some ugly kids.
Yeah. Well.
Other than that, I'm doing okay.
Huh.
I got a call by the insurance adjuster to repair my roof today. So that's a good thing.
Oh, okay. That's good. Not leaking yet?
Well, that was pretty damn rapidly.
Well, they already knew everybody's phone number, so it's probably easier. Well, yeah, Matt, that guy, what's his name? Whatever his name is, said he was hacked.
Steve. Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, he's a fucking con man.
Yeah, said he was.
Reminded me, I remembered him now after I looked him up. Because I go, this fucker looks familiar. I know him. And I do know him. He reminded me of this fucking kid lived behind me. Everybody hated. Weird dude. He was going to either become a priest or a fucking politician, and he became a priest.
Well, Dixie Landman's here. How you doing? Jolene is here. He wrote something about Trump bad, like on Twitter or something, and told everybody his account was hacked. Twitter refuses to say whether his account was hacked, which probably means it wasn't, and he's lying. So,
you know, well, is Trump still backing out of it, or are they gonna do it yet, or I don't know.
I don't know if he's still backing out of it, but he's having a rally tonight in Sanford, Florida. If the name sounds familiar, that's where Trayvon Martin found out he wasn't. Naturally, because it's there, all the lefties are calling him a racist again. Talking about how Trayvon was murdered. Fucking hilarious.
Well, we should probably have some ceremonial lootings in honor of the occasion.
Yeah, probably. Who knows? Fucking Trayvon Martin. What a piece of shit he was. His whole family. Fucking ridiculous.
Wasn't his mother running for fucking city council, or was that the dude in St. Louis? I don't remember, one of them fucks.
Both of them. The one in St. Louis lost, though. This one, I think, is still going for it. It's Miami Beach, I believe. Yeah.
Hey, why not? Fuck, they gave him something. They made some fucking pimp goddamn street czar in fucking Portland or whatever,
No, Matt, that was actually San Francisco in your state.
I don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
At some point, Matt's going to have to move out of California.
Yeah, probably. I'll be moving under California, but I probably haven't.
President Trump looks pretty good for having a cold and only been in there for 4 days, and out he comes. I do believe there might be a cure for the China virus. Holy shit. Hold on. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, seems like you should put down the pipe for a second.
Holy crap. Went down the wrong pipe, I guess. What am I gnawing on?
Well,
Candy
I saw
corn.
another icon has
Yep.
disappeared today, Joe Morgan.
Yep.
I was bummed about that too, as well.
I just read about that. All them years on Sunday Night Baseball, too.
Joe was an outstanding player. He wasn't the greatest orator on the TV, but he knew baseball. I mean, and he would come up with a good scenario now and again.
Yeah, but he had to do that for like 20, 25 years after his career. I mean, he was...
Need the bread. Shit.
I don't know. A lot of them players from that team are going, man. What the hell?
Well, hell, it's fucking 50 years ago when they were in their prime. Father Time.
Damn. Went down the wrong pipe. I hate when that happens. Whatever you want the topic to be, Fred, we'll go with you. I watched some of the confirmation hearing today. Do you have any idea how quickly these confirmations could go if we would just get rid of all the politicians talking about their opinions that are usually lies. This whole day could be cut off of the confirmation hearing, and it'd be perfect.
Well, it could. I mean, I was tired of watching Judge Barrett, you know, name every one of her brothers and sisters and her mother and what they all do and blah blah blah. How great! Now, I don't give a fuck who the fuck your family tree is.
Yeah, but at least she wasn't lying. Everything the Democrats said, that Amy Klobuchar or whatever her name is, she sounded like she was about to cry. She was, talking about the president calling the military this, that, and the other, which I have no idea what's got to do with this. But everybody on the Democratic side was Orange Man bad. Everybody on the Republican side, hey, welcome, nice to see you, blah, blah, blah. It would be the same.
Well, I think that Chloe loud, she gets this timbre in her voice that makes her sound kind of hysterical, sort of. I think it's just her vocal range.
I swear I thought she was going to cry there for a minute. Fred Shaw said, I'm sorry, I'm recovering from a coughing fit. Well, Michigan governor sounds of law enforcement to pick up these patriots that were going to kidnap her. Come to find out, most of them are all Antifa. Yeah, we've known that for like a week now, or a few days. Started coming out. But that's certainly not going to stop her from blaming Donald Trump or calling him right-wing extremists or white supremacists or whatever else they got in mind. Who they are. They didn't like Trump. They didn't like her. They didn't like none of it. They wanted her gone. They wanted Trump gone. They were anarchists is what they were. And here we are. Alan McMullen, how you doing? President Trump is on his comeback.
Oh, shit.
What?
I just saw John McCain's mother died today.
Yeah, it's nice. She'll be going to visit her corrupted son in hell, probably.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I really don't care. I don't. Not even sure why that's news, other than the fact that it's her mother. Shouldn't have been headline news for sure. Somebody called.
I'm just surprised that she was still alive.
Somebody at the confirmation hearing, I forget who it was, called John McCain brave for voting against getting rid of Obamacare. And they keep talking about these millions and millions of people and children that are on Obamacare. Last I heard, they didn't even know how many people were on Obamacare because nobody ever thought to count it up. So my question is, how, frankly, they're not. They're not. I'm doing all right, Alan. Getting ready to do the fall cleaning of the indoors of the house tomorrow, starting. Dave Rougeau is here. How you doing, Dave?
Yeah, I watched that nonsense.
That's about the size of it. I swear it's like it's a
I'm
campaign.
surprised that Amy Barrett didn't just stand up and say, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?"
Yeah. I don't know. It's nothing but a political event to get people reelected anymore. That's all it is. They get to go up there and show how strong they are and how they're fighting a good fight. And everybody up there knows this woman's getting confirmed.
Kamala Harris, that woman there, I tell you, somebody needs to throat punch her ass real quick.
Yeah. Wasn't she the one bitching about the Chinese flu and how we shouldn't be doing this because of that and so on and so forth? Yet she's been at campaign events and all kinds of shit. Yeah. There's some hypocritical bullshit for you. David Rijot says our power was out from 6:45 Friday to 7:05 this morning here in Lake Vernon. I think the real bullshit starts tomorrow with the questioning phase of SCOTUS confirmation. The Democrats suck the life out of the room with their hateful rhetoric and fucking posters. Yeah, they had nothing but posters like children and women. Because, nothing like using a sick child to get yourself reelected. No lasting damage from Hurricane Delta here. Okay, good. Glad to hear it, Dave. I am. It's good. I think you guys have had enough for 1 year.
I don't know.
We have Biden.
What?
Well, I was going to say Biden doubling down on Porter asked him, what would you do if it was your pick for the Supreme Court? Who would you nominate? And he's like, you don't think I don't need to know this? I'm like, you're still betting 500 here.
It's gonna anyway. I mean, it's like, aren't you supposed to be the president for everybody, not just the Democrats and the liberals? You're supposed to be the president for the whole country. So if a Republican asks you a question, you kind of need to answer it.
Well, Biden still thinks he's running for senator.
Well, that's true. That's true.
He said it again.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of this 25th.
Well, at least he's setting his goals the right height. Maybe that deserve to be president. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
At least he might, somebody could beat him easy enough.
Franklin says they have a lot of them that are hypocrites. That's why I hate politicians, because they will say one thing and do something else. I feel so sad that President Trump has no path to victory on account of Biden leading him in the polls. That's from Merrick Driver. Yeah. It's always
no.
Well, this 25th Amendment thing, there's a rumor out there that it's not actually for Trump, it's for Biden. They're just using it against Trump before the election so that they can hand the presidency to Kamala Harris.
Well, Nancy, she wants to create this, board or whatever it is to impose the 25th Amendment. It's already in the damn Constitution. What the fuck board do you need to impose on something?
Well, there's got to be a vote. They got a lot of procedural shit they have to do. Plus, they make a big deal out of it. Everybody's hopeful Nancy will throw him out of office, even though she's not gonna. And I don't think the American people are either. Although You never
But
know.
why does it need another board to implement it? It's already there, spelled out.
Well,
I'm not sure if this is a shot across the bow for Kamala to like you're gonna do what you're told by Nancy if you win.
well, at
Now
this
they might
point,
want to watch out what they ask for. Kamala Harris, if they use the 25th against Biden, God forbid he wins, Kamala Harris is going to get in there and say, "Fuck y'all, I'm the president now."
well,
That's just the kind of bitch she is.
They should get Lee Harvey, I gotta tell you, if she goes against him.
could be. I don't know. It's all conjecture at this point. But why would you, with was it just over 20 days or whatever it is, 28 days, something now till the election?
Well, I mean,
why
she
are we,
sealed her fate by accepting the vice president nominee. That she'll go along with the fucking game plan.
Democratic strategy. If we can't find a woman president, people will vote into office. Then we need a VP of a president who will conveniently die for one to get promoted there. Yeah. And the liberals in the street will be crying with joy. Lindsey Graham's having a hard time with his election. The guy who's running against him has raised like $57 million as some kind of fucking record or something. I don't know, folks. We have to take all three, both houses and the frickin' presidency, or otherwise, not only will Trump, if we lose the House and the Senate, Trump's getting impeached, and it's going to stick this time. Dan Bongino has been a favorite of mine for a long time. I think subscribing his show is a good anchor for conservatives. I agree 100%, Virginia. Most of what he says is true if you look it up. And I watch him. Well, I watched a day late, but nevertheless, his show don't come out till like 10, 11 in the morning. And I watch it first thing in the morning the next day. So, but I watch it almost every day.
Yeah, so do I, Jerry. I mean, I like what he has to say. He tells the truth.
No, he
it
does.
all makes sense. It's common sense.
Not only that, he uses the Democrats' words, Democrats and these outside groups, outside of politics groups that are actually inside of politics, but nevertheless, he uses their words and their deeds against them. And pretty much, he's right on the money with everything. He's a little hyperbolic, and I don't agree with every single thing he says, but you got to give him the credit. He's right most of the time. And what he's saying about the election, I mean, it's very easy to tell what the Democrats are doing, because whatever they blame on the Republicans is what they're doing. And right now, what they're doing is blaming Trump, starting to blame Trump for election interference, election fraud, blah, 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 which they themselves are doing. What do you think all this, mail-in voting and all the rest of the bullshit is about? This is why we're finding ballots filled out in ditches and back of people's cars, and people are ballot harvesting and money changing hands and all this kind of crap. Trump is not a perfect person, but as president, he's done more than most. He's done more than most. I would say almost
And
everyone.
he's not a politician.
No. Mike Pence is a politician, you could tell, but even Mike Pence seems to be. He's a dignified guy. He don't, you know. I don't know. I like him more now than I used to. Let's put it that way. But he's not Trump by any stretch. He's not. The biggest thing that everybody was talking about in the VP debate was the fly on his head. I mean, big fucking deal. That's all you've got. Then I don't know what to tell you. Kamala Harris, when she had her own words used against her, looked actually embarrassed and tried to. She was acting and put the smile on her face, but she looked actually embarrassed because she knows she was caught. It is what it is. And in the end,
I wanted to ask the moderator to tell her to blow her fucking nose, please.
Well, again, these are not debates. Debates are when each side gets to say something and they move on. Okay, these are not debates. These are just, you know, they're squabbles is what they are. Political squabbles. If you really want to have a debate, then you have it where, you know, you're able to cut off one person or the other and people actually listen to you. Politicians, when it comes to talking, are never going to shut up.
Well, what happened to that clause they want to put in where the moderator can kill the mics and shit? I don't think Trump's going to go for that either. Well, he's still backed out of the second debate. I don't know.
So far, who knows? Actually, it wasn't really him who backed out. It was Biden didn't want to do they wanted to do a virtual debate because Biden is with the COVID and all the rest of the bullshit. You know, and Trump just said, "The hell with it." Franklin says, "I have nothing against women being in the White House as president, but I never vote for a person unless I feel she's the right woman." That's exactly right.
Well, I mean, you know, Trump didn't say, you know, "Hey, Joe, we're going to chug a 40 together backstage before the debate," or anything, you know.
Mm-hmm. Kamala Harris is a horrible woman. Refused the death penalty I mean, if you're going to use it, I'm against the death penalty, but if you're going to use it, this guy deserved it. He killed 3 people in a family, illegal alien, the whole 9 yards, refused that. Put people in jail by withholding exculpatory evidence, which means evidence that could have cleared them. You know, she's not a good person. She is not a good person in any stretch of the imagination. She is a devious piece of shit who will lie, cheat, and steal to get to the top. And it is our job to make sure she does not get to the top. She's already gotten too far as a senator.
You know, the ridiculous thing is you can pull up sound bites of her from not even 6 months ago, and she says, "I never said that," and the total opposite. And you know, the same thing with, you know, Joe was a fucking sexual molester and blah blah blah, but now he's the greatest fucking thing going because you're on his ticket. It's a joke, man. She'll say fucking anything.
Yes, she was, Virginia. I believe Alan's right. I believe she was born in California. Although that doesn't really matter. I mean, Obama was president. He was born in a different country, so on a different continent. All I can tell you is this: she's not a decent person. She's not a good person. She's not a strong woman. She's none of that. She's a corrupted piece of garbage. And so is Joe Biden.
Well, she lied in the Democratic debates when She said, "Remember the little girl that got bused was me, and Joe was against segregation." You know, her parents and her lived in an upper class neighborhood. She was bused at her parents' expense because they didn't want her to go to shit schools.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not
Yeah,
like
that was total bullshit.
it's not like other politicians haven't done the exact same thing. So politicians do. They lie. They lie about what they've done. They've lied about who they are. They lie about everything. They'll tell one group one thing, one group another. Joe Biden came out and says, "I'm raising your taxes." Now suddenly he's not raising taxes against anybody except people making $400,000 or more. How about we do this? How about the government start living on a smaller budget? And we lower everybody's taxes and let the rich create jobs and let whoever busts their ass the most get rich. How about that? How about we do that? Instead of giving all this fucking money to government bureaucrats and other countries that don't like us and countries, even countries that do like, why not stop all that? And, you know, I don't know, maybe use some of the money to fix roads in America, fix bridges, infrastructure in general. I don't, you know, shit like that. Let's keep the government out of everybody's bedroom. Let's keep the government out of everybody's house. Let's keep the government out of raising children. Let's keep the government out of all kinds of shit that they don't need to be involved in. Simple as that. Okay? You think that'll ever happen? No. And the only way that the government can afford to do what they're doing is to raise taxes and keep borrowing money from China. Our national debt is ridiculous. It could be paid off in 5 years if we just quit spending money on stupid shit. The government gives our money away to all kinds of dumb shit, up to including the medical field and so forth, to do studies on this and that and the other that I could fucking figure out for myself without needing a study to do it. Okay?
Well, another thing, Jerry, the not taxing anybody that makes less than $400,000. A lot of mid-level businesses that are making more than $400,000, you raise their taxes, that goes down to their fucking employees. You're talking about a lot of businesses where whoever owns a business is doing well. You know, it's like it doesn't sound like it's gonna fuck you, but it's gonna fuck you.
Newsmax had a body language expert. First of all, what kind of fucking job is that? Seriously. Where do you go to work as a body language expert every day? I don't know. But anyway, determined to come out Kampala.
Probably some corporate America in their HR department, obviously.
I guess.
That'd be your niche.
I guess. I knew she was lying because whenever she lied, you look in her eyes. I'm telling you, next time you see her, look in her eyes. She gets this blank stare. Yeah, I don't know. They just go blank. Joe and the Ho will say anything to get in office. The thing is, every time they open their mouths, it's a lie. That's true. And they keep repeating the same ones over and over again because the people on Twitter believe them. It doesn't matter that the Russian collusion thing was the biggest hoax in American history. They still believe that Trump is in bed with Putin. It won't matter how much it's proven that it was Hillary Clinton. I mean, the day they picked Mueller, I said it was Hillary Clinton and the DNC and Trump had nothing to do with it. I remember it. And that's who did it. But it doesn't matter because the people in the streets and the people on social media believe that it was Putin who won the election and they blah, 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 blah. If anything, Putin wanted Hillary Clinton. If anything, Putin wants frickin' Joe Biden who he can push around any way he wants. You imagine Kamala Harris going and dealing with a Muslim country? With that ridiculous smile and it, I'm talking now. Are you kidding me? I don't need some body language guy.
Yeah, I noticed
Heavier.
I noticed a real tell on Kamala Harris as body language goes. She does the same thing Bill Clinton did. He clenches his right fist kind of strangely with his like thumb kind of up and like pokes with it when he's fucking lying. Same thing she does.
There's probably a bunch of them. I look at eyes. I can tell. Eyes are the mirror to the soul. It's an old and worn out saying, but it's true.
Shitty grin. And has that little dog head to the turn with her smirk. Somebody needs to slap the piss out of her is what they need to do.
Well, Willie Brown's dongle did that. I mean, no problem.
It's, you know, Trump says stuff that everybody says is a lie. And like, it's weird that 3 weeks later, it comes out as true and nobody wants to report on that. You know,
yeah, right.
It happens all the time. Almost every time he speaks, like he was talking about Space Force for a while. Next thing you know, we got a Space Force. Everybody's making fun of him for it. I personally don't know if we need a Space Force, to be honest, but, you know, whatever. Maybe he knows more than I do. Maybe when he had his meeting about the UFOs and shit, he knows more.
Kind of ambitious to enact another branch of the military. I gotta give him credit. It's kind of ambitious.
Yeah. You know, but it's like maybe.
Well, yeah, we don't know what these foreign nations are going to come in with. You know.
We also
have shit in space.
Yep. I think Star Wars is still floating around up there somewhere.
That too.
Believe me, when I watched her on TV, I wanted to reach to the TV if I could have and slap that damn smirk off her face. I almost had to turn the TV off. I did turn the TV off. When they both started praising George Floyd, it was time for me to go. George Floyd is a piece of garbage. I don't care that he's dead. Had he not fought with the cops, he wouldn't have been dead. Had he not been high on whatever the fuck he was high on, he would not be dead. Had he not been passing a bad $20 bill, he would not be dead. Okay? We have turned this fucking guy into a goddamn saint in this country, and he was a piece of fucking criminal garbage who did every single thing possible to get himself into some kind of trouble. What?
Had he not been full of fentanyl, he wouldn't be dead either.
Yeah. So, in the end, George Floyd got exactly what he deserved. Not to mention the fact, I watched the video. I watched all 8 fucking minutes of it. Okay. I know what it looks like to put your knee on someone's neck. And this guy's knee was at the top of his back where the neck starts. George Floyd killed himself, basically. And I think we're going to find out a lot of shit in this trial, probably 3 years from now, okay, where...
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It may then. You may actually get some jurors that will not fucking prosecute, will not find this guy guilty. Okay? You may just not, jurors.
The problem is, the jury's already out. How in the hell is this cop going to get an honest jury?
Well, because in
the case.
You know what? They said the same thing about what's his name that killed Trayvon Martin, and he got off. Because people in the end will listen, most of the time, listen to the actual evidence, find out most of the rhetoric was bullshit, and they will come to a conclusion, and they will be honest about it in the end. Okay? I believe that there's a chance he may get off.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
life was ruined. He can never be a cop again, and maybe he shouldn't be. And it didn't sound like his personal life was all that great either. Although, um, you've heard nothing bad about that, nothing good about that. Also, so and that's never the case. But how far is Sanford, Florida, from you,
he
Jerry?
can't
Not
be
that
white
far.
supremacist because his wife was some kind of minority woman. I think Indian or something.
I don't know. But in the end, this guy shouldn't. Listen, people. You don't want to die? Don't fight with the cops. You want to die? Don't shoot the cops. You don't want to die? Here's an idea. Stop committing crimes. And when one of these cops does shoot an innocent person or, something like that, then they should go to jail. How about that? Because they have. The guy got shot in the back in South Carolina when he was running away. He got shot in the back by a cop. Cop's in jail now. Because that's where he belongs. The two guys in Atlanta. The asshole started fighting him, stole his taser, shot his taser at him. He got shot and killed. He's being charged now. Okay. It's bullshit.
Yeah, that goes antithesis to their fucking narrative because they basically coddled that fucker for like an hour before the whole incident happened.
Yep. That's true. And all of this because he's the one who passed out, Mr. Father of the fucking Year, passed out in the Wendy's or whatever it was, parking lot or Taco Bell or whatever it was. Okay, because he was drunk off his fucking ass. I'm sure he was working to make his life better, though. Hey, that's what they all do.
Hey, he had to eat before he went to church, right?
Yeah.
He was on.
Yeah, Tiffany says you don't want to die, don't break the fucking law. You know what else, too? If you're black and don't want to die, instead of snitches get stitches, maybe get together some people in your neighborhood and start turning these fuckers in. There's strength in numbers. Or do it anonymously. Just keep turning them every fucking day. There's ways of doing it, folks. All you got to do is use your head. You see gang activity in your neighborhood. You see people getting shot or robbed in your neighborhood. Don't just sit there and don't say shit. But there's so many black people. That's because they're costing most of the fucking crime.
Well, there's another aspect to it in your policing of a neighborhood. People don't know the cops anymore. Used to have a beat cop walking around, and you'd know what his name was, and you'd talk to him, and he'd be like, "Hey, they keep an eye over here. There's shit going on, or whatever." And now, anytime anybody sees the cops, it's got to be a problem. It's a no good situation. Instead of cops are just people too that you talk to while you see them or anything.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the deal. Blaming one bunch of people for all the ills in one other bunch of people's neighborhoods and stuff is just bullshit. In the end, if you live in the ghetto or you live in a bad neighborhood or you live in whatever, you need to look to your own and figure out what you're doing wrong before anyone else can help you. I mean, some kid gets shot on a sidewalk somewhere and there's 35 people around and the cop shows up and nobody knows nothing. Really? And you wonder why this shit keeps happening? 50 people shot in Chicago this weekend. 50. Again.
Jesus Christ, if I lived in Chicago and I was black, fucking Friday afternoon, 5 o'clock. I'm locking myself in a goddamn closet. I ain't coming out till Monday.
Yeah, one that's lined with titanium steel, about 6 inches thick. Here's the problem. Until politicians and big business quit kowtowing to special interest groups like, BLM and so forth. Okay, you can't, I'm sorry, but the only time you can help somebody is if they're helping themselves. And there's not, most black people would rather not live in a fucking ghetto. Okay. I mean, in the end, the gangster lifestyle, the whole goddamn thing, the drugs, the this, to that, the other, we were slaves, let's be victims. All that bullshit's got to go. Because none of you were slaves.
It's so cold in the Democratic Party on these cities, is what it is.
Yep. Stop voting Democrat. Because even the black people you're voting for, many of them are going to jail because they're stealing your money. And there's plenty of white ones that probably should go to jail. I think there's good and bad on every police force.
It's the same thing as, you think people that live in inner city Chicago don't want to get ahead?
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
Yep. They do.
But it's the same old. Nobody gives them anything to accomplish anything because they don't want them to.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine being 7, 8 years old and having to wade through drug dealers and drunks and needles and prostitutes and every other damn thing just to make it back and forth to school? And that's normal to you? The whole system in the black neighborhood that they have set up for themselves has to be done. Okay, the drug dealing, the prostitution, the fucking killings, the gangs, everything, all that bullshit. It's got to go. And the only way that's going to really happen is one of two ways. Police go in and start knocking heads constantly. And basically the ones they don't catch will just move to a different neighborhood. And then you got to go to that neighborhood. And you got to keep, it's like the military. You got to keep those cops that clean the first neighborhood up to guard against the drug dealers coming back when they go to the next neighborhood. Eventually things will calm down. And then, there's a lot of other bullshit like slumlords and so on and so forth that don't want to take care of their buildings and so forth. And being one of these people who work for slumlords, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of the shit that gets damaged in these places is from the tenants themselves. They break the windows, they tear up the blinds, they rip the fucking towel racks out, they tear up the cabinets, they piss all over the fucking floors and spill shit and don't clean it up. They do all that shit. They write on the fucking walls. They do this, they do that. Okay? So...
But I'll tell you from my own experience, Jerry, growing up, is in the 60s, my town was pretty much segregated, maybe under the table, but we all went to the same schools, black and white kids. They did as well. They wanted to do as well. They had families. They grew up, as many of them went to college as any of the white kids. And the other one got good jobs around town and did the same fucking thing. It's not that they won't do. They got to have the fucking opportunity. That's it.
Yeah. And in order to have that opportunity, there's a few things that need to go with it. You got to have usually usually, not always, two parents that are give a shit, discipline in the home, good work ethic in the home, parents that aren't on drugs, parents that ain't alcoholics, parents that ain't criminals and in prison all the time. A whole bunch of that shit has to happen.
Yeah, it's not that it can't be done. It's that they're not being allowed to be able to do it.
Yeah, but
the Democratic chokehold cities are dead ends. They've been dead ends for fucking 50 years.
Yeah, well, also, that's true. But in the end, it starts inside your own home. Because there are many people in democratic cities that happen to be black or Hispanic or minority of some sort that manage to make it out. And that's because the children had a strong role model or role models. Okay. How do you expect some woman who just pops kids out for more welfare, has 6 or 7 by 4 or 5 different guys, how do you expect those kids to succeed? How do you expect them to succeed? Okay. Yeah, and the politicians don't help. They come into the neighborhoods and they tell them how they're going to fight for them, and that's the last time they see them until the next time they're getting reelected. In the end, what good does it do? They keep, like, Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. Really? Oh, you have a black woman as a mayor, you got black man as a police chief, you got black people on the city council, you got all kinds.
Rahm Emanuel is bad. Jesus.
Yeah, you got all these people that are black on all these government positions, but they do nothing. Okay.
Because if they did, they wouldn't need him anymore to keep giving them fucking false promises. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Just, vote for me the next time. Fucking, it's like a goddamn cattle herd. It's fucking ridiculous.
It is. But you say Trump is racist, or a white guy comes in your neighborhood, look, I'm a Republican. What the fuck do you have to lose by electing these people? Just because he's white? Have you ever stopped to think that maybe he'll get the garbage trucks in there and some city workers to clean the fucking place up, maybe fix a road once in a while? Get the housing authority in there to freaking condemn some fucking places or get them fixed? I mean, it wouldn't take much to improve the lives of the people living in these places, like in Baltimore or Compton or one of these places, Detroit, one of these places like that. To improve someone's life really doesn't take a lot of effort outside of people doing their fucking job. And I don't know, maybe when the neighbor next door takes a bag of garbage and just throws it out on the front lawn, and it's one of those dollar store garbage bags, and by the end of the day, the garbage is flying all over the place. I don't know, maybe turn his ass in once in a while. I don't know. You could also make a law where it's the law that if you're in a rental place, that the landlord has to pay for, killing the rats and the cockroaches and extermination and shit like that. I never lived in a building where they didn't have a guy come around once a month to exterminate. Not once. Maybe it's time for, you do something different. Nobody can pull you out of abject poverty unless you want it. There's some people who physically can't do it or they're too old. Help them too somehow. But young people hanging around in the fucking road all day dealing drugs ain't going to help, because they go into the system eventually or they die in a gang-related shooting, and they have a big funeral, at which point the next gang comes by and shoots at the fucking funeral. I've never seen anything like this. It's goddamn ridiculous. And we can blame the politicians, and they do have their faults in this. There's zero doubt of that. But in the end, you got to look to the people themselves. Like I said, kid gets shot, he's bleeding out in the fucking street, 40 people standing there, and nobody saw nothing. Are you kidding me? And these people want the white people out of everything.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. And all they
well,
got.
The whole thing about.
Go ahead.
They're underrepresented. They're not. I mean, in what way are black people underrepresented? They run every major Democratic city, the mayor's office, the police department. I bet they're 90% black people, and it's how you what else are what more do you want?
They want to run the country. They want to have nothing but black people running it. They want white people to give up everything they own so that they can trash it, because most of them don't give a fuck, only about themselves. They just want to keep telling black people how racist white people are towards them. Now, I personally have never been in a black neighborhood where I lit a fucking cross on anybody's front yard or done any of that bullshit. I have interactions with black people once in a while. You open a door for them, you do something, whatever. I mean, I don't have interactions that many white people neither. I don't give a shit what color you are. If you're a decent person, I'm good to go. If you're not, fuck you, leave me alone. You leave me be, I'll leave you be. There's a black guy. Every time I see this fucking guy, I have no idea who he is. I drive by, he waves at everybody. I don't see him as a racist. Apparently, you don't see me as one because he ain't throwing rocks at me. I don't know. Here's what I do know. Can't help nobody don't want to help themselves. And there are a lot of black people that want to help themselves out there, whether you believe it or not. And they don't like this fucking BLM bullshit because black lives don't actually matter to them. And if you look at the fucking protests, it's mostly young, white, liberal morons. Okay? I mean, they just arrested a shitload of them in Portland the other day. Not one black person amongst them. Not one. Okay? Not one.
What was this? Was there some kind of shooting in Denver? I didn't see any kind of details, but
well, the guy was supposedly a security guard. We're finding out now he wasn't licensed to be a security guard with a gun or a security guard at all. He was security guarding a news personnel out in the streets, and apparently some guy sprayed him with something. And I guess like pepper spray or something. And he shot him dead. And now he's in jail.
It doesn't sound good on the face of it.
Nope.
Really.
No.
Pepper spray. I mean, they didn't get into physical contact. I wouldn't warrant shooting the dude that had the pepper spray right off the bat. I think I don't know, man. I know, like you and me always say, I wouldn't be in that fucking situation. I don't want to be in that situation.
That's correct. And I don't think Nick does either. I think we're all in agreement on that. Why go if you're going to go to these things, whether you're going just to watch or you're going to march or what good will, and you get hurt, you know, you're really not paying attention if you're doing that, because people get hurt all the time. I mean, if you're going to be one of the ones cursing the cops out, sticking up the middle finger at them, telling them they're number one, and all the rest of the bullshit, eventually you're going to piss one of them off, and they're going to find you, because you're not going to tell me them cops that are shooting these rubber bullets and so far were anyway. You're not going to tell me that they aren't picking people out in the crowd to shoot because they're the loudest. I don't have a lot of sympathy for these fucking people. I don't have sympathy for that security guard guy, and I don't have sympathy for the guy he shot. Okay? I don't know what the exact situation is, but that's a famous tactic of the Antifa. They separate people, and then they fuck them up. Now, I don't know what happened there. As Matt says, I got to tell you, don't look good for the guy who did the shooting, that's for sure. And in this political climate, if you shoot any protester for any fucking reason, even if they're trying to kill you like Kyle Rittenhouse, 3 of them, I might add, you're going to have some problems. Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyers are fighting extradition because they don't want to hand him over to the mob. And that was their words, not mine.
Well, that's what I mean with this. The guy that shot this pepper spray, and he didn't close with him. They weren't grappling or anything. I don't think I would have tried to shoot the guy.
I don't know. It depends on who was around, who was taunting who. I don't know. See, that's the thing. That kind of shit, the actual facts come out in trial. So that 12 people sitting there listen to the facts and decide if the guy had the right to do that or not. Okay. But in the court of public opinion, he is obviously guilty. You know, and some don't even care because I'm pretty sure they were both white. You know. So in the end, this is why it is so important, not only when you hear these things, to wait a few days to see what actual facts actually come out. And then after that, you got to wait for the trial to find out exactly what went on in those moments. Because there's a lot of stuff that will not be released. We saw a video of, what's his name, with George Floyd. And, you know, you still don't know everything that went on for the first 2 weeks until they finally let out the beginning of it. Okay. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. People jump to conclusions immediately. And because they're, you know, they like their conclusion, they're not going to change their mind no matter what happens. If they don't find that guy guilty, Minnesota will explode again. Wisconsin, I can't even pronounce the name of the town. They decided a black cop had the right to shoot some black guy, and all hell broke loose. But then you have like Kyle Rittenhouse, it was an obvious thing. The two cops in Atlanta, okay, that shot the guy who shot the taser at him. And they're being charged. And they're being charged by people that are fucking useless. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse, you want to blame somebody for him being there, blame his fucking mother. Because at 17 years old, he should have never been there holding a weapon. He should have certainly never been left alone by himself or in any way to where he would have been involved in anything really bad. And now look what's happening. So
well, it's sort of a quite a conundrum of people. You know, young people want to express their will and don't understand exactly what they're getting themselves into, and it's gonna keep happening. I mean, no reason to doubt it.
yep. When you look at sports, so apparently this shit ain't working out for them. The Lakers won the NBA championship, and apparently nobody cared enough to tune in to watch. And then, of course, they had a big rally afterwards that was mostly peaceful, except for all the people that got arrested for destroying shit. But their ratings were way down.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, basically all the major leagues they're faltering badly. Nobody even seems to give a shit. I mean, with all the shortened seasons and nobody fucking cares. It's like,
the NFL.
Yeah, they won't let anybody be in the stands, and it's a fucking joke.
The NFL has had to reschedule like 10 games. Their ratings are down. Don't believe anything you hear. Their ratings are down. The NBA commissioner, I think his last name is Silver, Adam Silver or something like that. Anyway, he said that next year there won't be the Black Lives Matter shit on the court and all the rest of that because people are not interested in that. See, sports had a chance, okay, to bring people together as it always does for some reason. Sports and concerts, they always do that. And give people some hope for the the future and all that kind of thing. Because that's what sports does. It's a distraction from everyday life. And instead, they shoved everyday life in our face. And people are not interested in that. Okay. They are not interested in some.
People are tired of hearing, these professional players make millions and millions of dollars to say that there's not justice in this country.
Yeah. And there's no way that a black person can make it out of the ghetto.
There's justice if you're making millions and millions of dollars.
That's true.
Just because you're black doesn't make white man bad.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And these guys are the
ones.
Want
equal opportunity in this world. Get your ass out and work. Get an education.
They act like black people can't get out of the ghetto or this and that and the other. Meanwhile, many of these guys in the NFL, NBA, I don't know about baseball. Probably there's a few. They got out of the ghettos by playing a game because they had a talent. But they act like they're the only ones that can do it because black people don't have brains enough to do it. I've seen black people, do whatever it takes to make $1 legally. I've seen it. Because they have a good work ethic and they work. They ain't rich, but at least they can be proud of what they're doing. You really think anybody out there dealing drugs is proud of what they're fucking doing? Okay. There's a certain amount of pride it takes to get a job of any kind. I don't care what it is. And they try to do it well. Even if it's just side work all the time. Or scut work. I mean, do it well and get paid for it. I mean, yeah, you're not getting rich, that's for sure. But at least you can have the pride of knowing you're not out there dealing drugs. You're not out there doing stupid shit. You're not out there high off your fucking ass all the time. Okay? Where the hell are these players in the off season? They're visiting other countries. They're on vacation. You never hear them talking shit like they do during the season, okay, after the season. You never hear them out there in the streets like they are now. They get photo ops because the teams make them go out at the soup kitchens and here and there and everywhere. You know, the NFL, that's a thing. You have to, do whatever for each team to get, it's for the teams, we're doing the great work of the city and all the rest of that bullshit. You know, I woke up last night, my back hurt so fucking bad I couldn't do it. I could barely get out of bed to go take a fucking aspirin. Literally. I woke up this morning, I had this, I laid half the night in my chair, and the only reason I didn't really do something today was because I didn't want to make it worse. But tomorrow I'll be out there doing what I can, when I can, and how I can. And I got to tell you something, it ain't much anymore. But I got pride in doing that I ain't quit. And that's all I got left. I ain't fucking quit. And there are a lot of people of every color who are the same way. They don't quit. They don't quit on themselves. They don't quit on their families. They don't do any of that. You're some coddled ass player. I don't care what sport you play. In high school, they pass you along. You may be an idiot, can't read or write, something, whatever. But you have a high talent for playing some game with a ball, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? They quit college early to go in the NFL to make the big fucking money. Some of them make it, some of them don't. And along the way, many of them have all the talent in the world. When they blow out a knee or blow out their back or do something, it's over. And what do they got? They got nothing because the colleges don't want them anymore. They don't want to give them the full scholarships. They don't want to do any of that. The colleges are corrupt. Everybody is using everybody. And now you want to pay players in college. Yeah, nothing can go wrong there. The NFL is allowing gambling now. They put a team in Las Vegas. Yeah, nothing can go wrong there. They draft thugs and then act all pissed off when that thug continues to be a thug. You wonder why?
Well, they have it. All the Ivy League elite schools. It's sort of a game to them. Their sports programs, endowments, and I'm sure they have a board of fucking directors of who they want to draft. They treat it's like a fucking Monopoly game, man.
There you go. Guy balls up his fist, reaches back to Cleveland and knocks his girlfriend out in an elevator. There's people arguing and his shit is kept playing. Colin Kirkpatrick. You know why he's not playing no more? There's two reasons. One, he wasn't that good. And two, he was too much of a distraction about everything. He's a hateful motherfucker. However, had he been that good a quarterback, he'd still be playing today. Because the NFL don't care if you're a piece of shit. If you can help them win, you will play. Colin Kirkpatrick was not that good. He was good for about a year until everybody figured him out. He's a quarterback who has no accuracy throwing the ball. Okay. The last thing I want to hear is a multimillionaire athlete telling me there is income inequality. Yeah. Yeah. The guy who makes the least amount of money in the NFL as a player makes more than most of us do in 10 years. So, you know, and, you know, they're broke on average, 5 years after they quit playing, they're broke. Because them big ass checks ain't coming in no more, but their lifestyle ain't never changed. They went from being in the ghetto to rich and fabulous with 25 fucking cars and paying for everybody in the family to do whatever they want, giving their fucking money away, making bad investments, having posses and all this bullshit. And then they sit there when they're broke, not knowing what to do with themselves.
Oh, it's kind of like, yeah, if you're, 32, 33, 34, and your job's over, what are you going to do now?
Yeah. Exactly. And a lot of them don't have the college education to fall back on because they didn't bother to finish. You know? And it's not really the NFL's fault. The NFL has symposiums. They have freaking financial managers. They have all kinds of people that you can go talk to manage your money and do this and do that. And one of the things these guys tell you is that you got to lose the posse, you got to lose the leeches, you got to lose all these people, you know, that you're paying, you're buying cars for, you're doing this, you're doing that. Because in the end, you're just wasting your money. And when you stop buying them, they will disappear. And that's what happens. But these guys don't believe it because they're keeping it real in the hood. Well, you know, enjoy your time while you have it because eventually it's all going to be gone. I mean, you got guys in the NFL had all the talent in the world and blew it because they couldn't quit smoking pot. They literally blew it because they couldn't stop smoking pot. Chad, what's his name? There's a guy who was playing. He's still on suspension, I think. He's with the Seahawks or something. Maybe he just got off. I don't know. He's been suspended like 4 times. Long periods. Can't quit smoking dope.
He's a weed whacker? I don't know who it is.
He plays for Seattle. He's a wide receiver. I can't remember his fucking name now, but I think he used to play for the Bengals for a while. He got drafted by them. I don't know, but in the end, all right, this is sad. You can't stop smoking pot, really?
Now think about this. Everybody wants equality. Get rid of white privilege, whatever the hell that is. I have yet to learn what the fuck that is. But you give the minorities the same opportunities, and they make it, they become successful. But then they claim it's not enough because of their past.
Yeah, well,
what the fuck do you want?
You know,
it'll never be rectified.
White privilege is a word made up so that the victimhood in BLM can feel good about themselves and their lack of anything they're doing. Okay? Because the people that lead the BLM don't give a shit about Black lives. Maybe people in the streets do, I don't know. But the sad part is you don't see them in Chicago. You never hear of a massive BLM rally in Chicago or one of these gun control states that these people are dying by the dozens.
Right.
Okay. That's all that is. What is it? Systematic racism is another word made up
so that victims can feel good about themselves and realize it's not my fault. It's white privilege. It's systematic racism. No, it's you and your lack of wanting to do anything for yourself and expecting everyone to do it for you. That's what it is. Okay. That's what it is. The end. There is nothing else. But unfortunately, no one listens to us, so here we are. And in the end, it's going to continue. And folks, it won't be long before this thing explodes.
No, the whole white privilege guilt trip is ridiculous in the first place as well. All these people, the white people inside with BLM and all those, because they've had white privilege. Well, a lot of them have because they're from fucking wealthy families. But in a general sense, there's no fucking such thing as white privilege. I've never gone to a store where I got shit off the shelves and I went up to the cashier and she said, "Oh, you don't got to pay because you're white. Just take it. You don't have to pay for it." I never say anything like that. I don't really know what the privilege is. My boss never told me, "You don't have to work this week, but we'll pay you." You know, I don't know what the fuck kind of privilege that is. I have no idea.
Yeah. It's bullshit. It's just a made up term.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I had, so many pancake breakfasts, dinners, and suppers. Because that's all we could afford when I was a kid.
Yep.
But that's white privilege.
Yep. Hey, listen. It's just made up terms to make victims feel good about themselves and tell them it's not their fault.
I think they should call it white responsibility, maybe, but that would be offensive as hell.
Yeah, white responsibility. That's perfect because took the responsibility. My parents took the responsibility to feed their kids in any means possible.
Yep.
Wasn't a privilege.
The problem, America has gotten far away from you do what you want, I'll do what I want, and if we don't agree with each other, leave us to hell. I'll leave you alone, you leave me alone, live your fucking life. We've come from that to everyone saying, this is how you got to live, this is how you got to live, this is how you got to live. You can't say this, you can't do that, you can't blah, blah, everything's racist. You know what? Fuck you. I don't care. I don't care about your little victimhood bullshit. I don't. Okay, you want to be a victim and be a weak little puss the rest of your life? You're more than welcome to do that. Stay away from me because I ain't got time for it. Okay? I have so much fucking weight on me right now, you wouldn't even fucking believe it. And I stand every fucking day and I try to do the best I can. And that's all I ask of anyone else around me. I get it. There are weak people out there that don't have to, whatever. But in the end, we got too many people out there just want to be victims of this and victims of that. And for what? A handout from the government? You want reparations for what? You were never a slave. Shut the fuck up.
Well, they're having a commission in California to look into this, and ironically, California was a free state, but nevertheless, I wonder how are most Black Americans going to prove that they are lineage to slaves?
I don't know.
What is it? You don't really have to prove it. Even if you were supposed to get something, And a lot of black people are going, well, they're just going to take it out of my taxes. So what? I'm just paying myself.
Well, you could always ask Kamala Harris for a family record. Some probably could get it through that. You know, I mean, to me now, every black
And it
woman
turns out
is a queen. Every black
it
person
turns out
was.
Joe Biden's family had slaves too.
Well, probably. There's probably a lot of families out there that had slaves 200-300 years ago. The problem is they don't have them now, other than the ones that keep voting for them.
Correct.
Okay, and that's just as bad. The Democrat.
My family is Native American descendants, uh, Cajun, Nova Scotia, French were slaves brought here. And I can't complain about it because we aren't of the right ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter at this point.
Well,
Well, you are a citizen of the greatest country that's ever been on the face of the earth, natural citizen. So I'm going to tell you.
I'm born here, raised here, like the majority of my family, except those that, that were brought.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about your wood pile back there.
Yeah, that thing there. I tell you.
The Democrats used to be outwardly show hate for blacks and act like it. Now they've become the party that inwardly hates blacks and lie about it. The Democrats are telling you how they're going to take care of you and they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and they never, ever do it. The only thing that happens in the inner cities is it just keeps getting worse. Obama gave you a phone, and you thought he was the greatest president ever to live. What did he really do for you? Did he come in and help shovel up the garbage? Did he send people in to stop the shootings? Does your mayor come in, a black mayor, come in and help you stop the killings and the drugs? Does the governor, Democratic governor of your state, do anything for you? Why is it always the Democratic cities that have all these problems, not the Republican ones? Not to say the Republican cities don't have problems, because they do. They're just not as bad as in the Democratic cities. So explain that to me. What in the hell are you people waiting for? You have absolutely nothing to lose. And you also have to remember, it's not just the governor, it's the state legislators. It's not just the mayor, it's the city councils. Okay, it's not just them, it's the judges. If you have a liberal judge that some guy went in and did this, that, and the other, and he puts him out on the street a half hour later, what good is that? What good is to have a civil rights icon as your representative when he is actually not doing a fucking thing for you other than getting himself rich? You guys ought to be celebrating the fact that he's dead. You have a chance to start over. Put someone in that'd be better at doing things and fighting for you instead of just fighting for your vote every couple of years. You want to defund the police. Your neighborhoods are already anarchy. They're run by gangs who don't care who they kill. If they have to kill 15 people at a house party or a little girl dancing with her mother in a house, as long as they get the one guy, they don't care how many others get shot. And then you're screaming to the rafters for somebody to do something. Unfortunately, the ones you voted for are the ones telling the police no. Black-owned businesses being burnt to the ground, and for what? Some bullshit rhetoric? I bet those people ain't okay with Black Lives Matter.
Well, it's a whole rhetoric of, all the businesses got insurance. Never mind that they're never going to rebuild and all their employees are gone and, all that trivial kind of bullshit, that, you got your, looted your big screen TV, but you put 3 people out of work.
And a lot of these minority-owned businesses, even some of the white ones, they don't have all that insurance. You know what insurance costs in these cities, especially that part of the city? They can't afford insurance. They lose it. They lose everything. I've been in New York City. I've been in Queens. At nighttime, every freaking little store is literally got the roll down garage door. All the windows are shut tight. You'd need a bomb to get in there. And most of them are little bodegas or someplace that'll sell you a pack of cigarettes for $10.
Well, then, you go back to the, oh, Jesus, they're locking up black people's, toiletries and shit. And that's racist. Why they're locking the shit up?
Yeah.
Because it goes fucking missing all the time.
Yep. Yep. You're lucky they keep selling them. You're lucky Walmart stays in them areas.
It is. And they act like that has nothing to do with it, It's, people are stealing the shit, but that's like systemic racism or something. It's they've gone so off. Their argument is fucking ridiculous at this point.
It is, but it's not going to stop. And it's going to get worse. Trump gets reelected, it's going to get worse immediately. Immediately. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to go. I got to go get some stuff done here. So I appreciate everybody came by and commented. I'm thinking about cutting down the amount of time on this show because 2 hours is getting to be too much. And we'll see how that goes. Also, we may cut a day out. I don't know. But we'll see how that goes. I got to talk to them first and everything. So we'll be doing that in the next week or so. See what happens. Matt, you got any last words?
Not really. Just don't be dissuaded by a bunch of bullshit. by anything. It's going to come fast and furious in the next weeks, I'm sure. Whatever it is, try to wade through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just wear hip waders. You won't get as much on you. How about you, Nick? Good to hear, Nick.
Well, alrighty then.
Nick's not paying attention. Probably out smoking a cigarette. I don't know. All right. Well, on behalf of Nick, stay safe and sanitary, whatever the hell that means. But nevertheless, okay, you guys have a great evening, and please be vigilant. Be aware of your surroundings at all times, and always remember, it's amazing what you can do when you have no other choice. My name's Jerry. On behalf of Matty K and Nikki Young, we bid you a good night, and we'll see you Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you.